Is it not true that sometimes, many times, we find ourselves in difficult situations where it seems there's no way out? There's no solution to our difficulties, and the harder we try, the deeper we sink. The landowner in today's gospel parable from St. Matthew seems to have been in such a predicament. It was harvest time, and like all the landowners, needed his share of the harvest to live. That was his urgency. So he sends his slaves to obtain his share of the grapes, not once, but twice, and then he sends his son to harvest his share. And each time the tenants' response is the same. They beat them, they stoned them, and killed them. Obviously a desperate situation for the landowner, but he doesn't strike back. In fact, his response was just and calm. Hold on to those thoughts, dear friends. Just and calm was his response. Now remember a few weeks back in the gospel story of Jesus and the Canaanite woman? This foreigner woman recognized Jesus in her land and pleaded with him to heal her daughter. And in the story, Jesus not only ignored her, but he insulted her. What was her response? Her response was calm and resolute as she dialogued with Jesus. She did not react to his insults, and in fact, her manner, and the author was clear to note, her faith caused a turnaround in Jesus, and an emerging mission was happening for Jesus. The same is happening in today's parable. If the landowner reacted in the same way as did the tenants, he would be no better than them. And that's not what the gospel imperative is all about. The gospel imperative is all about changing us, our hearts, our minds, our spirits, into that of the mind and the heart and the spirit of Christ, and not wanting everyone else to change like us. The parable affirms that sometimes there are and will be difficult situations, impossible situations, if you will, that will occur in our lives, and they will be out of our control. Situations, of course, that we can name, such as sickness or sudden death or loss of a job or an unexpected move. For us as faithful Catholics, the change that will soon be upon us is the difference in language in our Mass. Moving from a dynamic translation, you'll hear of those words, to a formal translation is going to be difficult for everyone. It is our response to these truly inspiring and uplifting changes that needs to be upheld, like that of Christ. Today's parable teaches us to respond in patient endurance, to respond in understanding, to respond in resolve, as did the landowner, and of course as the Canaanite woman. What is to gain if we react so unkindly? Perhaps, if we respond as did the landowner, then the seemingly impossible situations of our lives might be the very keystones to growth and new life. Our experience tells us that most of our lives are out of control, but our response to life can be controlled if we allow the Lord's mind, the Lord's heart, and the Lord's Spirit to fill us when we face these circumstances. As did the landowner, how then will we respond to others this week? How will we live? Amen.